Good afternoon and welcome to the sixth period debate between Senator Robert Casey, a Democrat, and Representative Lou Barletta, a Republican, who is running for Senator Casey's seat. We will begin with each candidate giving a 1-minute introduction, and then we will begin with questions from the press. Senator Casey, I invite you to introduce yourself to the camera.
Hi, my name is Robert Casey Jr. I am running for the Democratic Party for re-election in the state of Pennsylvania. I graduated from the College of the Holy Cross. I'm a strict Roman Catholic, love God, and I can't wait to be back in the seat.
Representative Barletta.
Hello, I'm Louis Barletta, and I think I would make a better senator than Bob Casey. The reasoning behind this is because he lied on national television, proving we don't know if he's ever going to tell the truth. I mean, anyone who will call out people for having cancer wouldn't be a right fit for senator.
Thank you both. If I could, our first question for today involves immigration. I will ask it in a number of ways and allow you to take the answer where you would like. President Trump recently came out and said he is seeking an executive order that birthright citizenship will no longer be acceptable. He sees that as alleviating a problem where immigrant families come to America, have a child, that child becomes a citizen according to the 14th Amendment, and others say the original Constitution, and then those families can stay. President Trump is offering to change that law through executive order. Is that a way that we should be dealing with immigration? Or another question for you, and that is there a way to stem the tide, as some would say, of illegal immigrants? And are illegal immigrants a detriment or a benefit to this nation? I invite you, Representative Barletta, to answer that in any way you would like.
I grew up in a town that was filled with 50% of immigrants, or 50% of Latina immigrants. And I think that immigrants are a good thing, but I do not think that they should be coming through illegally. And even though they are born here, I think that they should have to get a citizenship through a different way than just being born here, because their families are illegal, and then they would have to be split up with their families, and then that would not be good.
Thank you. Senator Casey.
So I agree with Barletta that we should have a different way of having immigrants become citizens. I, like him, agree with immigrants, but I don't think illegally. I think we should have more border security, but overall, I welcome them into our country in safe spots like Philly.
If I could follow up, please. Representative Barletta, do you believe that immigrants on the whole are a benefit or a detriment to this country? And perhaps one thing you might speak on, if illegal immigrants are ousted from our nation, the jobs that they hold will be empty. Are there people waiting in line to take the jobs that immigrants are working in?
I think that illegal immigration should have nothing to do with who has the job, because I think the job should go to whoever does it best. And if that's the illegal immigrants, then they should have the jobs for it. They should have the job.
Senator Casey, I know you were in Washington when the scandal with separating families at the border became national news. Do you have an insight on the U.S. government treating families at the border so harshly?
I feel like that families should be kept together, but both said that they shouldn't try to become here illegally, or have a kid born here and then they become a citizen so they can stay.
Hello, my name is Inez. I have a question on healthcare. How are you planning on changing or improving America's healthcare?
I think that everyone should be granted healthcare, and that nobody should be taken away from healthcare, like Senator Bob Casey over here thought on national TV. And yeah.
I extremely support Obamacare, and I think that we should have it, and we don't need to get rid of it like Donald Trump is saying, and that overall we need to keep it so people can have health.
If I could follow up, what are your thoughts and opinions on Obamacare?
So I just like it overall. It gives people a chance for free health care and that they don't have to worry financially that they don't have enough, so that if something bad happens to their family, they can just get it and then they'll feel better and they'll feel less stressed.
Well, I'm committed to making it a better healthcare, so I'm okay with Obamacare as long as we can further make it better.
Thank you both. At this time, I would like to declare an intermission so the teams may meet with their candidates, and we will welcome our viewers back in 2 minutes. I'd like to welcome everybody back to the sixth period debate between Senator Robert Casey, Democrat, and Representative Lou Barletta, Republican, challenging for his Senate seat. Gentlemen, the next question involves the Second Amendment. Recently, we have had horrific events involving guns in Pittsburgh and in Kentucky. Certainly on top of these were the Parkland shooting in schools of last year. I would like the two of you, please, Mr. Barletta first, to weigh in on your thoughts on the Second Amendment, perhaps on the availability of auto and semi-automatic weapons, and an American's right to own a gun. Mr. Barletta?
I am a strong advocate of our Second Amendment freedoms, but at the same time, I understand the obligations we have to protect our communities. We must come together as a country, seek out solutions that work towards preventing horrific crimes like what occurred in Pittsburgh and at Parkland High School, and give thorough and thoughtful reviews of proposals that address gun regulations within the confines of the United States Constitution.
Senator Casey, your thoughts on Second Amendment and gun ownership?
So as a Democrat, I know this will sound strange, but I am a big supporter of guns, and I know that is unusual for a Democrat, but I like guns just overall, but I do not support any gun that has a magazine of over 10 bullets because we can stop mass shootings from that.
Moving on, what are your plans to stop the opioid crisis in America?
My legislation will help these communities by giving them access to ARC funds for everything from attracting doctors to putting in broadhand for telemedicines, spurring economic growth, and helping those struggling with addiction by breaking down barriers to employment.
So opioids, I'm putting in 3 acts: the Protecting Moms and Infant Acts, supporting plans of safe care implementation, and their strict illegal drug acts, which all basically protect people and babies and moms, like fetuses in the mother's wombs, from opioids, and that if they do have opioid withdrawal, they can get treated from them.
Follow up, if I might. Representative Barletta, being a Republican, one might assume you are pro-business. I'm curious as to your position if, in fact, the opioid crisis has been furthered by pharmaceutical companies, their pill production, doctors in the medical industry, and overprescription, as opposed to the TV version of a drug dealer or somebody standing on a corner. This seems to be a corporate proliferation of drugs. Do you have a thought, being pro-business, that the crisis might, in fact, have been the result of business?
I think that they need drug addiction professionals inside of hospitals to help deal out the drugs that people actually need, because doctors don't know as much about drug addiction as those professionals do, and how easy it is to get them hooked on those drugs, the opioids that are given out.
Senator Casey, similar question for you. As a sitting senator, you are involved in bills with businesses, and you have connections certainly to many industries. Do you have a thought on the opioid crisis and how medical professionals and businesses might relate to it?
I kind of agree with Lou Barletta in that we need to stop it as a whole, and that it could be because of these big businesses, but also like they were before, how street market sellers.
Could you both tell me how you're planning on providing these kinds of tools to hospitals?
I think that they need to fill jobs in, or get jobs for these professionals, and also I think they need a given rehab facility for if they do get addicted to the drugs, that they can immediately go right in and not have to wait a long time to get into it.
Like I said earlier, I'm trying to imply the 3 acts, which basically makes, as strict as drugs are now, even more stricter by police and dogs and just everything overall in the police state, so that we can make sure that no one gets hooked on these.
Bob Casey, could you expand a little bit more on those 3 plans you were talking about?
Okay. So the first one is the Protecting Moms and Infants Acts, and it basically makes sure that mothers do not take drugs, and if their infant in their stomach when they're born has a withdrawal, they are treated for that. The second one is supporting plans of safe care implementation, and it's basically trying to save infants' lives who have been treated for this or have opioid withdrawal, but we don't know if we have enough resources to do that, so we need to try to have that because there are more and more coming in, more infants. And then the last one is the Restrict Illegal Illicit Drug Act. We're basically going to try to ban drugs even harder and be more strict because there are too many deaths in America from all these drugs, and it's costing us too much money.
Thank you. Moving on. Lou Barletta, in 2016 you opposed an amendment banning discrimination in work environments based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Wouldn't opposing this amendment go against the First Amendment?
Yes, it probably would, but I think that the LGBTQ community does not bring enough to the to like workplaces and stuff that they do not need to be like a part of the workplace as much as they do like outside of it.
Senator Casey, what are your opinions on the matter?
I agree that LGBTQ is good and that people can express themselves throughout the First Amendment. So overall, we can have a united state and welcome these people into our country.
Thank you. I would like to invite you to close with a 1-minute statement to the citizens of Pennsylvania. Representative Barletta, as the challenger for the seat, I invite you to go first.
Thank you for letting me get an opportunity to come out and run against Senator Bob Casey. And I think that I would make a better senator than him by making better healthcare laws and better opioid addiction laws.
It was nice to campaign against this fellow man, and that it was an honor. But at least I didn't, with full respect, at least I didn't have to have Trump to fund my trip and basically get me where I was.
And with that, I would like to thank everybody for viewing the 6th-period debate between Lou Barletta, representative from Central Pennsylvania, and sitting Senator Bob Casey. Thank you very much for viewing.